Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Untitled Sickos Project, where it's time. It's crazy. We're all having a time of our lives right now because free agent frenzy is going on right now, and God, a lot of stuff going on. But I'm Bears fan, and I'm joined alongside both not Maxim Tread, Die Sometimes, and 24 Amper, also known
Yep.
as Noah. And yeah, free agency started, and not a lot of things are happening. I'm sure, right? Not a lot of things are happening.
We got some trades.
True.
We got some signings. Can't wait to get into it, guys.
Before we get into what's happening today, I do feel like it would be smart to go over a little bit of what happened leading up to it. First things first being, some of the trades. Now, there wasn't a lot of like major key trades, but there's three that specifically come to mind. One of them being Tavondre Sweat for Jermaine Johnson. Uh, and I'm just gonna say this right now, and I'll probably get into it later. But the Jets are having a really good free agency so far, and I really think it started off with that trade for Tavondre Sweat. He is an athletic freak.
Very good, very good run stopper.
Yeah.
Extremely mid. In terms of I don't want to say extremely mid, but he's still young. Pretty mid in terms of everything else. But they do get someone that will definitely help them out with their scheme fit. So I think that was a good. I mean, yeah, that was a good trade. I think it was a good trade for both sides.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of stocks on Jermaine Johnson personally, but
But Jermaine Johnson's fine.
yeah.
I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, there was that. Another one to note, of course, because I'm a Bears fan. DJ Moore to the Bills for a second round pick, essentially. Pretty steep cost for Buffalo, but they do get a very quality wide receiver one, and the Bears didn't even have to take anything off that contract too. And last but not least, let's get into the one that I'm sure everyone wants to talk about: Max Crosby to the Ravens. Uh, Noah, do you have any thoughts on Max Crosby going to the Ravens?
I want to first give a shout out to the Cowboys for somehow losing another trade deal because they lost to a team that was willing to give away two first rounders, while the Cowboys were willing to trade a second round pick for Max Crosby. So congrats again to Jerry Boy for losing his 57th trade in the past decade.
It's actually ridiculous that they decided that one of the best edge rushers in the league was only worth a second round pick.
Well, yeah, this
But
this
yeah, this should be huge for Baltimore's defense. Though I'm not entirely sure if their defense is the biggest issue.
It
It's you can
was. It
never
was.
win
It
stuff.
was.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
really
big.
bad last year.
I thought it was more because of the coordinator and not the personnel.
Now the personnel was kind of, but the secondary was really bad. The pass rushing, their front seven was terrible outside
yeah
of
Yeah,
Roquan Smith.
yeah it really went down.
regardless, this is a huge win from the Ravens.
I'm 50-50 on it. On one hand, Max Crosby is a phenomenal rusher, and I really think that is a good get for the Ravens. My issue comes with the fact of Max Crosby, how much left on the deal, and the everything else surrounding it. If Max Crosby was healthy, I would understand. I get people are gonna say, well, the Raiders shut him down. They can't shut him down without some sort of injury. So he was hurt regardless last year. And not only that, um, I do think a first round pick is definitely worth Max Crosby. I think a first round pick is worth it, but two is where I'm kind of especially considering that's going to be a mid first round pick, where the Raiders are still going to potentially be getting a really good player in this draft, and not to mention too, essentially banking on Max Crosby's last 2 years of his contract to really to get them to the Super Bowl, and when was the last time we seen a rookie head coach go all the way to the Super Bowl? I don't think it's happened in the NFL.
Let me take a look.
But yeah, I was gonna say the only person that would come to mind is like maybe Mike Tomlin, but I don't think Mike Tomlin made the Super Bowl his rookie year. But like it's just not something that happens a ton, and I think the Ravens are very much trying to bank off of that. Now, I still think Max Crosby is a phenomenal player. I just don't like the price. But it's it's weird. I will say this though, I do think the Ravens are in the driver's seat for the AFC North, but that's mostly just because everyone else in that division is kind of kicking rocks right now. Um, yeah. Well, those were kind of the big trades that happened over the time. Now we can finally get into some of the meat and potatoes of what's been going on so far in free agency. Um, I'm going to save it for when Chris comes back because I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about Tua. So, why not talk about one of the first deals of the day, or, well, a different quarterback? Malik Willis going to the Dolphins. I'm sure everyone expected that, but um, I will say this: Miami got him for fairly cheap, all things considered. I believe he didn't average 30 million per year is what they thought they were going to get. Instead, it's like 23 million per year. Now,
Yeah,
whether
that's it. I just checked. Don McCafferty and George Seifert, they both won. They both won Super. They both ended up winning Super Bowls on their very first try as a head coach.
when were they in the league? Like what year was it?
McCafferty in 1970, Seifert in 1989.
Yeah, so it has been a while, essentially. But
It
yeah,
has been a while, but it has happened.
yeah, fair enough. Um, in that case, back to Malik Willis. I do think it's a good signing for Miami. They obviously need a quarterback, and we're gonna get to that later as to why. Um, also, breaking news and more quarterback news: Gardner Minshew is going to be signing a one-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Huh?
Because of course it's the Cardinals. It's always the Cardinals, man.
Why? Why? Again, obviously they're not going to draft a quarterback because I don't think they're dumb enough to draft Ty Simpson at 3. But I'm sure there had to have been someone better on the market. Like I'm sure Tyrod Taylor's looking for a job or something. But yeah, just so I don't get interrupted, let me finish my thoughts on fucking on Malik Willis. A lot of upside with him. He fits the very prototypical dual threat quarterback now, where he can make plays on his feet and has good accuracy when throwing in the short and medium game, and can occasionally make the big throw. I just don't know if the offensive line for Miami is going to be holding up, and not to mention too, I don't know how Jalen Waddle is going to look going into this year, considering that this will be the first year he's actually a wide receiver one on that team, because Tyreek Hill was always there. So, I mean, there's that. So, it, let's see. In some other news, oh yeah, the Chiefs got Kenneth Gainwell, which is very annoying. Why is it always this team, man? Why do they always get the good players, and why are they always smart? It's so annoying. Um, any signings that you want to talk about, Noah? Because I
Not that I am aware of. Let me.
was gonna say the only thing I heard
There
of
was one. There is one thing that I saw that Linderbaum went to the Raiders as well from the Ravens.
true. I saw someone said so.
Isaiah Likely is no longer a Raven,
Yeah, he's actually a
which
giant.
is funny because the person who dropped the pass, the double agent, is still a Raven, I believe.
Yeah. Mark Andrews is still the Raven, and unironically, probably their best pass catcher because Isaiah Likely couldn't catch the ball. Zay Flowers keeps on fumbling. Rashad Bateman is getting paid 12 million a year, and I don't know. What washed wide receiver 3 will they bring up this year? The previous year was Odell. This year it was, this most recent year was DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, something else that I did see today that was interesting. Michael Pittman to the Colts. Um, I think that's a good trade for Pittsburgh, especially considering it's a late round swap because Michael Pittman is one of those sneaky under the radar wide receivers that has always been a 2 but has always produced, so there's always stuff for that. But yeah, the first deal of the day though was Alec Pierce getting a 4-year, $116 million deal, which is really surprising. Not saying that Alec Pierce doesn't deserve that kind of money, but 29 million per year for a guy who just had his first 1,000-yard season is kind of insane in my eyes, personally. Oh, hey Nick.
Hello.
Hey, Nick.
Uh,
Hello.
is there? We were just talking about Alec Pierce, and his signing. And what are your thoughts on that contract? Because it's pretty fucking it's pretty
A
big.
lot. Yeah, it's a massive contract. I'm not surprised that the Colts had to go all out to like I'm not surprised they had to go like for Alec Pierce, like he was gonna get that money because he was pretty much like, yeah, well, you better pay me a lot or I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah. Oh,
I still feel bad for what happened in the last game for Alec Pierce. That was such a dumb way to get ejected. Nothing he did wrong.
yeah. But hey, he now has 116 million dollars to cry into. Speaking of overpays, a lot of edges have gotten overpaid so far. Um, which one do you guys want to talk about first?
Oh, Washington just made an overpay, so we could talk about that.
True. Washington, Adafe Owe, is that correct? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think that's right.
Um,
Yes,
yeah, Adafe
Dafe.
Owe. Now, he's an amazing player. He did phenomenal things for Seattle on their Super Bowl run. $100 million. That's, I mean, again, for a guy who just finally started producing on that team, good for him. He got a fucking payday, but jeez, that was expensive. What?
By the way, you said Seattle. I think you were thinking of someone
Oh,
else
the
because he played
Chargers.
for the. Yeah, he got traded by the Ravens to the
I
Chargers.
was thinking of Boye Odafe Boye. That's who I was thinking of. I believe he got signed too. If
I
I'm
think he did.
Yeah, but another guy that got overpaid, and this kind of broke the dam. Jalen Phillips. Look, Jalen Phillips did phenomenal in it did phenomenal in not Pittsburgh, in Philadelphia. He did a good job. Again, $120 million. I I guess my only question is how much is Trey Hendrickson gonna get? Is he gonna get $40 million like Daniil Hunter did?
I'm not sure because honestly, with how quickly some of these guys are going, a lot of people are surprised that Hendrickson hasn't gotten signed yet.
I mean, he might have to decrease his value, but I think he'll find some way to get the money he wants. At least in my opinion. Um.
Yeah, just depends on which team will be the one to do that.
Oh. I guess you're the most Raiders pilled person here. What are your thoughts on Linderbaum to the Raiders?
Um, it's an insane contract. I will say that because there's breaking the market and there's doing that, but for what the Raiders are needing, especially with how bad that O line was last season, they are more than willing to pay that deal to get someone as good as Linderbaum, especially at center.
Yeah.
because you have Linderbaum now. You still have Jackson Powers Johnson, which hopefully this coaching staff won't mismanage him like the last one. And you will be getting Colton Miller back, which is obviously going to be massive. But yeah, in the context of what the Raiders were dealing with their O line, this is a price they are more than willing to pay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's a fantastic pickup, especially considering. Think about it this way: you essentially traded Max Crosby for an elite O lineman and two first round picks. I get he
Mhm.
was a free agent and everything, but when you look at it via those terms, that Max Crosby trade looks better. But
Yeah.
uh, the Raiders made another move, and I believe they signed Eric Stokes to a 3-year, 30 million extension. Was he that good that year? Last year?
He did pretty well. He was their best player in the secondary last year, so I'd say that's a pretty good move. I'm happy to see, Eric get another shot with the Raiders because, I mean, yeah, he did pretty well for the Raiders last year. Like, him and it was weird with the Raiders secondary because it was a story of, like, 2 halves in terms of the secondary, because Eric Stokes and Jeremy Chin both did very well, but then it was, like, the opposite side of the secondary that was, like, not good, and that is something they're gonna have to fix this offseason.
Gotcha, gotcha. I was gonna say, at least the Raiders are seemingly doing smart so far in free agency. I again, their big thing is probably gonna be I getting built up through the draft a lot more than building through free agency. But I've really liked what they've done so far. I believe they signed wide receiver Jalen Naylor,
Yep,
because
Naylor.
he was a good wide receiver three from Minnesota. He was always the guy that seemingly got open, but no one really knew his name. So like. Again, he's a very solid wide receiver three. I feel like that's a good pickup, especially considering the core for the future is probably, what is it, like, Tucker,
Bowers,
Bowers, Myers.
Myers is a Jacksonville.
uh Mike they're Michael Myers. He's
Oh, no, not Michael Jacoby Myers is in Jacksonville. Michael Myers, I don't know what's gonna wait, not Michael Myers, Michael Mayer,
Michael
Michael Mayer.
Mayer. Oh fuck, I always thought it was Myers for some reason. but
Yeah.
yeah but
And
yeah
also, if anyone's extremely happy about the Linderbaum news, Ashton Genty for sure.
Ashton Genty might
Mhm.
have a offensive line to run behind this year. It's like, he can do that? He can run behind something that isn't going to kill him in 2 seconds? Um,
True.
but yeah, that's kind of been the Raiders' MO so far. I don't think I've seen much else. What's,
That goes back with the Commanders.
oh yeah, Laramie Tunsil, 2-year, a $60 million contract extension. Um, that's steep. That's very steep, especially considering that last year apparently he was good, but not like worth what they paid him for. Um, I don't know what's going on with the Commanders, man. I feel like they're doing the right thing, but uh, I don't know,
I feel
man.
like the Commanders they're doing what they gotta do, but they are having to pay a lot to do what they must do.
Yeah, like 30 million for that. Getting a Meek Robertson from the Lions for a 2-year, $60 million deal. Yeah, Amik's fairly young. I believe he's 17 or 18, but coming off of last year, he was one of their worst corners on the team. And I believe they were starting Rock Yassin last year, so that should say something. And of course, we already talked about Odafe Owe getting paid. Um, Marcus Mariota re-signed, but
Yep.
yeah, that's, I don't know what they're doing. They're obviously, it's day one, things are gonna change, but not a lot of stuff that really swings you off your feet when it comes to the Commanders. But something that is swinging off their feet is the Giants. The Giants are having a very odd free agency so far. They signed Isaiah Likely, which I don't get personally. I get that I know why they signed him because he's a Harbaugh guy, but he wasn't producing the last couple of years on the Ravens, and that's just kind of
And they are,
eh.
and for Isaiah Likely and what he's produced, they're paying a good amount for him.
Yeah, it's a $40 million deal with incentives that could bump it up. I get it's not horrible for 13 million per year tight end, but again, they also have another tight end on their team that's doing pretty well. I don't. It's not Theo
Johnson.
Benedict. Theo Johnson, yeah. Theo Johnson had a pretty good year last year, so but I get they didn't re-sign Daniel Bellinger, so I guess there's that. Another thing they did was sign the Ravens' former punter, but that's just that's a guy that's just gonna follow where he's been coached. And then
Yeah.
also Tremaine Edmonds to the Giants, which I think everyone kind of figured that was gonna happen, but I thought we were gonna trade him there. But no, the Giants got him for free, and Tremaine Edmonds
Yeah.
gets 3 years, 36 million. He's a good player. He'll be
So,
fine. What's up, Noah?
so we just
Wish him well
here's
there.
a little information that we just got. Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback for the Cardinals, and Gardner Minshew will be the backup.
Really? Huh.
Yep.
2026, Jacoby Brissett is a starting quarterback.
That's
How about
interesting.
that?
I thought they were gonna I thought they were gonna have Gardner Minshew probably start and then try to see if you can't trade Brissett off to a team that's in more need of a backup quarterback. But I guess they're just gonna roll with it next year. Huh. Not insanely bad. Also, speaking of the Commanders, they signed Tim Settle to a 3-year, $24 million deal. That was literally like just right now. But yeah, not too much on that front. The Cowboys, like usual, haven't done anything in free agency. They're really going all in this year, guys. Really going all in.
Yeah, I think they've made like one move. I don't remember what it was, but like that's about it. They've only made like one move.
It's a safety. I believe it's not Julian Blackman. I do know that it was a $12 million deal. Um, per year, I should say, not 12 million on the thing. Uh, it was, um, it was Jalen Thompson.
From
Uh,
Cardinals.
yep. I mean, he was working alongside Buda Baker, and their safety position last year was not one of the issues on the defense. So there's that. Oh yeah, I forgot too. They traded for Rashawn Gary, which Um, I guess they didn't want him to hit the open markets. I don't see the need to trade for him. I get edge rusher is a huge need, but do we really do they really need a Rashad Gary to the point they had to trade for him?
We still be able to make another statement on Instagram.
True. He could just No, he was hacked, Nick. Don't you get it? He was hacked.
Yeah, he was hacked. He uploaded the wrong statement. He's gotta make some edits to it.
Uh just in, Bills are signing D. Alford from the Falcons to a 3-year, $21 million deal. Nothing much there on that end. Speaking of the Falcons, we're saving the funny one for later for our. Actually, I'll save the Falcons for when our Falcons friend gets back in here and crashes out about free agency so far. But before that, we'll take a look over at. Actually, let's take a look at a free agency class that I think a lot of people should be giving them credit, even though they are a dogshit team, and that's the New York Jets. They have done a phenomenal job this free agency period, getting guys like Andre Sweat. Um, they also got, I believe it was Demario Douglas from the Saints.
Yep.
Um, they also got I think there was another Saints guy. I could be wrong. But no, they got Minka Fitzpatrick this morning. That was the big one. That was an in division
Hmm.
trade for a seventh round pick. I get Miami probably needed the cap space, so they were just like, take it, Jets, and everything. But that's kind of weird.
I mean, Fitzpatrick had a pretty good season last year, despite how bad the Dolphins were on defense.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. I don't get why the Dolphins would do that. Joseph Asai was a 3-year, $36 million contract edge rusher from the Bengals. For what it's worth, when Trey Hendrickson wasn't on the field, he was the best edge rusher on that Bengals defense. But that's just whatever. The Jets also signed, I believe, former Saints and Falcons defensive lineman David Onyemata. Very good run stopper up the middle, very solid. And they also signed defensive end Kingsley Egabare to a $10 million deal, and that's probably been their most questionable one, only because I don't think anyone knows who this guy is. Respectfully to him, but Jets having a really solid free agency class.
That they are.
Uh, just in, the Giants are re-signing Jermaine Illuminor to a 3-year, $39 million deal that includes 26 million guaranteed. I believe that was their only other good lineman. Because the only other lineman that was good on that team was Andrew Thomas, and he was hurt for most of the year. Um,
Yep.
another a team that's also been active in free agency, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans, I believe so far they got Jermaine Johnson. Um, they also signed former Giants cornerback Cordell Flott. Um, to a 3-year, $45 million deal. Uh, Nick, you have something to say about Jermaine Flott. You had something to say about Jermaine Flott a while ago. What was it? Something about him being the worst corner in the NFL?
Um, I don't know if it was him. I don't think it was him that I mentioned, but I know he was on that Giants secondary, which was quite bad last year. A very bad secondary last year. And granted, I get that like going from Shane Bowen to like Robert Sala is an infinite improvement, but that was, still not a good secondary at all.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, the Titans also got a couple more cornerbacks. One of them being Saints cornerback Alontae Taylor, which was their only good cornerback last year, which is surprising. Another guy that they got, John Franklin Myers from that Denver pass rush. He's going to be a good addition, and especially considering he's going to be the Tavondre Sweat replacement, I feel like the Titans are going to be fine at that position. They also signed Daniel Bellinger, as noted earlier. They also signed Mitch Trubisky, which I'm gonna say jokingly, Cam Ward, you better look out because he's coming for that job. But good. I hope things go well for him. And lastly, the big signing, and in my so far, I think is probably the steal. Wandale Robinson going to the Titans, but everyone kind of knew that was gonna happen. But I think for what they got, the Titans really got a steal. 4 years, $78 million, while Alec Pierce got
Yeah.
4 years, $114 million. I don't got to do a lot of math there, but that's around a third of that contract. So
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty good deal there. Pretty good deal by the Titans. By the way, the Giants player that I referenced that time for being their worst player was Deontay Banks.
Oh right, yeah, my bad. I know it was either him or Banks, but I rolled and picked him. For that, not much else for the Giants. Eagles, a surprisingly flat team so far in free agency. Not much really going on with them right now. Well, we could always just go to the NFC East real quick. I mean, NFC South, I should say. We were just in the East. not the NFC South so far. The big marquee ticket item is Travis Etienne to the Saints.
Hmm.
I'm curious as to why that is because Nick, you said this is the team that you think is going to end up getting Jeremiah Love.
I was thinking that, but then I also realized, sometimes there's a good reason I should wait until after free agency to make my mock drafts.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think the Saints showed why that's the case because Travis Etienne, coming off probably his best season in Jacksonville last year. I'm not surprised the Saints got him because he is from Louisiana and basically going to like a hometown, like going to his hometown team with the Saints. So in that case, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, really interesting to see what the Saints do now that they got ETN.
I mean they could always just tell Alvin Kamara that they're cutting him. Granted, I don't think that's going to happen because that'd be kind of rude. I'd say that as if the NFL isn't full of rudeness, but yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, obviously, as noted earlier, the Saints lost Alontae Taylor. I don't think they've made any other really huge pickups at all either. Um, they did. Oh no, they did sign former. They did sign Bills. I believe right guard, David Edwards. Um, oh, to a $15 million per year deal. Uh, Other than that, losing to Mario Davis really hurts, but not much else on the Saints front, all things considered. Going down to Tampa Bay, we'll bring up that elephant in a bit, but not much else going on in Tampa. I do know they lose Jamel Dean. Other than that, I don't think they've made any other moves other than getting Kenneth Gainwell, which that running back room's already scary with Bucky Irving and Rashad White. If you're just adding a James Cook into that mix, that's probably one of the best running back rooms in the NFL right now.
Yeah, granted, I'm pretty sure Rashad White is a free agent right now, I believe.
No, I think he's on the roster still. He might be one of those restricted free agents actually.
Yeah, he might be.
Oh, they also signed
But
Alex Anzalone. That's another guy I got. I
yeah,
knew the funny story about that. I knew I when people were saying that Alex Anzalone was going to the Buccaneers, I saw a crap ton of Bears fans like sigh in relief because they really didn't want him. We'll get to the Bears in a bit, but yeah, Alex Anzalone has been very good for Detroit so far, but I guess he just wasn't much needed there anymore. Uh, Other than that, not much else on the Buccaneers side of things. Going to going to Carolina real quick. Um, yeah, what the fuck are they doing? I have no idea what the hell the Panthers are doing right now. In all honesty, first things first, I believe they signed Jalen Phillips to a 4-year, $120 million deal, which is ridiculous, all things considered. That's just. Jalen Phillips is a really good player, but the edge market is so screwed right now that his agent somehow got him like over double what he was making last year. It is kind of ridiculous. And the thing is too, they haven't really done anything else. They've just signed Jalen Phillips to a $40 million deal, and that's been it. They haven't been addressing any of the possible needs at wide receiver because as much as Tet was good last year, they sorely needed another weapon. On the tight end side of things are nothing has changed. They haven't really gotten anything. They haven't done much so far in this free agency. Granted, there's multiple days and everything, but jeez. And then
yeah, I think the Jalen Phillips deal really screams how well his agent did their job also screams how desperate the Panthers are for guys on defense because that agent probably saw some of the offers they were getting and then probably saw the Panthers offer and said, "Yeah, go here. They're very desperate."
Yeah, and my thing is too about it. It's like, why? Or I heard everything about this edge rushing class being so deep, but yet I'm seeing all these teams sign these premium edge rushers to huge deals. And that kind of makes me worried about this draft class because if they're really overpaying for these kind of guys, I'm kind of concerned. Not like a super concerned, but like I'm starting to take a note at this draft class. But whatever. They move
Yeah.
on. Well, the South really going from the South to the NFC West. We got a couple of things. Oh yeah, let's start with the Rams. First things first. Trading for the Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie. Um, I don't like the trade personally. I think that the Chiefs have always found ways to win these kind of trades whenever they've gotten these players that they don't want to pay out of town. I don't personally like it, but it's Sean McVay, so at the end of the day, what the hell do I know?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a trade that can work well for both sides because I think the Rams, they desperately needed help in the secondary after the playoffs. And the Chiefs, well, you got a lot more draft capital to work with now. And with the moves they've made today, I think they're feeling a lot better about what to do in the draft. Also, speaking of the Chiefs, by the way, just to interrupt, it was just reported by Adam Schefter that they are giving Travis Kelsey a 1 year, $12 million deal.
Look, man. When I saw that I sent that earlier today because like someone the reports came out and everything kind of all happened, and I'm going to explain the first three things that I saw for a year LMAO Taylor Swift tax Travis Swift retire gang. Um, look, man. I get Kelsey's gonna come back for 1 year, and he isn't gonna be cheap, but honestly, if I'm the Chiefs with how he was performing last year, I don't care how bad my receivers were. I'm more than content just letting him go. At the end of the day, you're only gonna harm yourself because I don't think Travis Kelsey is going to get you over that hump anymore. He's a good tight end still, don't get me wrong. He's good, but like it's not 2022 anymore. Hell, it's not even 2024. It's rough. I think the Chiefs. I think that's not. I think that's one of those things where I'm like, I get it, but I don't like it. Um,
Yeah, it's probably, I see it more as like it's a move that could bite them in the ass because Kelsey's clearly just losing what made him great. But also, I get the feeling it's like, look, you're one of the best players we've ever had. We're gonna keep you until we're gonna do right by you until you call it a career. Which, if last season wasn't it for Travis, I'm fully expecting this season to be it, which is probably what I'm gonna be saying until Travis Kelsey eventually retires.
yeah, Travis Kelsey being this is it again is like the Patrick Mahomes. Okay, this is the year he sucks. This is the year he finally sucks. Believe it or not, we actually got that with actually, believe it or not, we didn't get that with Mahomes, but we got a product of it via the Chiefs team. But yeah, the Chiefs are trying to relive the early 2020s again and try to build that dynasty. Nah, fam. Try again next year. Also back to the Rams. They signed again another former cheap Jalen Watson. They also re-signed Tyler Higbee, and yeah, that's about it. They re-signed Cam Curl. There ain't much else. Surprisingly. Um, in some breaking news too, Alex Singleton has signed a 2-year deal with the Broncos, re-signing there. So not only can he beat cancer, but he can beat the Chiefs twice a year. So that's cool for him. Yeah, not much else on the Rams side. I still think they should draft quarterback and plan for the future, but what do I know? Matthew Stafford won an MVP this year. The Seattle Seahawks. God, this they're getting decimated right now. It's not looking pretty.
Yeah, they're paying the Super Bowl tax right now. The Super Bowl tax where everyone wants what you have. Good luck with that.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet now has to drive the entire field instead of having Kenneth Walker drive the whole field, and that's kind of the big one. The losing Kenneth Walker. That's I think they'll be fine. I think they might sign a running back. I think they might draft a running back to replace him, but it's clear that even in this year, they very much like Charbonnet more than they like Kenneth Walker, which personally I understand. Charbonnet has a lot more receiving talent and has just as much of the break tackle factor that someone like Kenneth Walker has. But again, ironically enough, K9's got that dog in him. Charbonnet's got a cork in him. Take that as you will. Other than that, the Seahawks were able to resign at least one person, that being Josh Jobs. Um, yeah, Josh Jobs is current. Josh Jobs signed a 3-year, $24 million deal, and other than that, uh, God, they're not happy right now. They're losing. They're gonna be losing a lot of people,
Yeah,
and
we'll just say, with how given that the Chiefs signed K9, it would not surprise me now if opening night or whenever it is, because I know scheduling conflicts with the 49ers and Rams in week one, but like whenever it is, whenever the Seahawks kick off the season, would not surprise me if it's against the Chiefs now.
maybe. I think they're probably gonna go more towards, I believe, the Super Bowl matchup, the Super Bowl rematch. I think that's what they're trying to do, but we'll see. Yeah. Going on to another team, the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals last year had one of the better free agencies. This year they were looking at signing. They were Tyson Bagent trade rumors. It is not going very well. We said earlier that they just signed Gardner Minshew. Um, you want to know what else they've done?
But
They've opened up another retirement home, and they're praying that these old folks come in because no one is taking their offers. No one is coming here. And it's clear. Obviously, they've released Kyler Murray, which is gonna be a given. I don't know how that's all gonna go. Yeah. I what the fuck do you do if you're the Cardinals right now? No one's obviously wanting to come there, and you're not able to trade off any of your good players, because if you trade off any of your good players, you might be worse than the Jets. So, uh,
I have an idea for the Cardinals.
what is it?
Them the next season.
If only they had a time machine, that would work. Unfortunately, we do not have the technology yet. Well, other than that, we have one other team to talk about right now, and that's being the San Francisco 49ers. Uh, Nick, I'm gonna let you talk about the Mike Evans contract first, because I feel I'm gonna have a lot to say.
It's an interesting deal because obviously Mike Evans, playing on a team that isn't the Buccaneers is a big deal. And I do believe that, getting Mike Evans, I think in terms of, weapons and all that, is a good pickup. I like getting Mike Evans if I'm the Niners, even if Mike isn't what he was in Tampa, which we'll
Right.
have to see how he is with the Niners. Mike still plays like a very good role in any offense he's been, and I know that because the Bucks offense looked a whole lot different when Mr. Evans was not out there. But it is still a very interesting move by the Niners for a multitude of reasons, and one of the big ones is the contract because it is a 3-year deal for Mike Evans. And I get that Mike would probably have not taken that deal if it wasn't a 3-year deal, which sounds like from all the teams that were interested in him, that was what he was looking for. So Niners had to suck it up and give him that. But I am very curious about I am very curious about how Mike Evans will do in the Bay Area and how he'll be able to perform over those 3 years because yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna be really weird seeing Mike Evans in a different uniform. It's gonna be
Yeah.
very weird.
Yeah, and I pretty much agree. The contract itself, I don't hate. Yes, yes. You know what? I can swallow a pill and be like, okay, I guess in this universe, in this hypothetical, sure, Mike Evans is worth $20 million a year. And then I look at the cheat, and then I look at the Niners, and then I see the injury history, and I go, sure, I'm just being silly and superstitious because at the end of the day, electrical substations don't cause ACL tears. But then I look at all the other wide receiver troubles that the Niners have had recently, from Ricky Pearsall having hit being shot unfortunately, and then Debo Samuel and that whole fiasco going out, and the Niners ending up choosing Brandon Ayuk over Debo Samuel. So Debo Samuel is traded to the Commanders, and he has a good year there. And then we go back to Brandon Ayuk, and he's speeding down the highway near the stadium. I got bad vibes, man. I get it. I get it's something that I shouldn't do, and it's like it's a pick, not a pick. It's a superstition. It's whatever. But like, what has happened with the Niners recently that should give me faith that their current wide receiver that their wide receivers are okay right now? I have a fear that Mike Evans is going to step on that that stolen land, Indian burial ground that's called a practice field, and his ACL is going to slide off his knee like butter. I'm terrified of this move, man. Because if Mike Evans goes down, now what's gonna happen? Wow, you are now paying $20 million a year for a wide receiver who is 33 years old for the next 2 years, and that's terrifying. This is a very much a high risk, high reward type thing. I don't even think the reward's that high because are we thinking that Mike Evans can relive the past at all? I mean, Jerry Rice sort of did, but like, do you think Mike Evans is a Jerry Rice receiver that can play until his 40s? I don't know. I don't think
We
so.
don't know. By the way, on the topic of the Niners and receivers, chances are they're going to be losing Jawan Jennings, which, of course, now with Mike Evans there, that's obviously something that's going to be more focused on because, well, you don't have a Jawan Jennings. If someone goes down, especially without George Kittle to start the year, probably, then yeah, it might not be great. Might not be great.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. They might have to find a wide receiver, a tight end either in the draft or in free agency just for a 1 year rental. Now, personally, I think something like David Njoku would work perfect in a Kyle Shanahan offense. I feel like you put Njoku there, he's putting up the same numbers as Kittle. But I don't think David Njoku's going to want to go there off a 1 year deal. I think he's probably looking for more stability and looking to stay on a team that's going to be winning for a fairly long time. And considering the fact that he was on the Browns for that long, I don't think the Niners are necessarily one of those teams. Maybe something like, I could definitely see a team like maybe the Bills, even though I get they're pretty much the same, but at least Buffalo kind of has something going on, even though they have a tight end. I could see something like not Atlanta, Baltimore, just because Lamar Jackson and everything. Ugh, it's rough, it's weird. It's a tough contract to swallow, and it's something that we're just going to have to see. It's definitely the most surprising contract. I still thought he was going to be back in Tampa, but apparently it sounded like Tampa pretty much matched the contract that the Niners were giving him, and he decided no, I wanted to go to San Francisco, which we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah. By the way, it's worth noting that there's been speaking of, like on the topic of the Niners, there has been some trade rumors apparently surrounding like Fred Warner, and the reason I'm hearing about the trade rumors is because I don't know how legit they are or not, but like trade rumors about Fred Warner and the Giants, which I mean, I don't know if anything will ever happen with that, but that's just something interesting to speculate on because if the Niners are looking to make more moves for a draft capital, then they could consider that if that's actually something that's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
we already know what they're
Have you
trying to do with
noticed that
Matt
the Bengals have
Jones.
done? Have you noticed that the Bengals have done absolutely nothing for free agency so far? No defensive upgrades
Oh
or
no.
no offensive line upgrades or anything.
They've signed
Again,
some safeties. They signed a safety. I remember that, and they did sign an edge rusher. But I do get what you're going for. The Bengals really have not done much. But back on the whole Fred Warner thing. I don't think that's true. If Tremaine Edmondson signed there, I'd be like, yeah, I could probably see it, but I'm not sure. But yeah, the Niners are doing crazy stuff, but no one wants to talk about the Bengals. Let's head over to the AFC North real quick and talk about them. The Bengals, yeah, they have not done too much. They've signed. I will say this: they signed a fairly good safety from the Chiefs. Brian Cook is going, and that's definitely going to help out that defense, especially when Geno Stone is still there. He signs a 3-year, $40 million contract. You know what? Good for him. Um, he was one of the better PFF safeties last year, which doesn't really mean much. Boye Mafe is going to the Bengals. My bad. That's the guy that went there. Uh, breaking news: Greg Dulcich goes to Miami. Who cares?
another update. Dre Greenwald's been released.
Really? I get he was hurt.
Hmm.
I get he was hurt a little bit, but he's still a fairly decent linebacker. And I don't think the Broncos are going through cap casualties. I That's interesting. Uh, maybe he goes back to San Francisco if Fred Warner really is being traded. But
Who knows?
wow, they cut him after 1 year there. That's super surprising. Um, Holy shit. Well then, Bengals, Boye Mafe. What else have they done? Um, Not much else. Rumor is they're trying to sign Airbud. Unfortunately, Airbud can only catch the ball. So therefore, once again, Joe Burrow does not have an offensive line to block for. And, yikes. Well, after that, let's go to the Cleveland Browns, which... What the fuck is this organization doing? So, Nick, go ahead. Talk about Zion Johnson to the Browns in this glorious world.
They they paid a lot for a guy who was not good on probably the most talked about O line in the league last season, and talked about for nothing but bad reasons. And they paid a shit ton of money for this guy.
Come on, Nick. Surely it's not that much. What did they pay? 8 million? 10 million?
3 years, 49.5 million with 32.4 million guaranteed.
Dude, what are they doing? You're signing the worst offensive. You're signing the only offensive lineman better than Bradley Bozeman. I mean, that was better than Bradley Bozeman. Not the only offensive lineman. The offensive lineman that was just barely better than the worst center in football. And then you're signing him to a basically $17 million deal. What in the fuck are you doing? Do you want Shadur Sanders to die? Do you want to tear Deshaun Watson's Achilles or ACL again? I mean, if that's your case, start him. Anywho, um, What the fuck do the Browns are the Browns, man. They're not doing anything, and the times that they're doing something, what the fuck do? They sign people like Zion Johnson to a $50 million contract. Up next, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Haven't heard a ton from their neck of the woods so far about free agency. Um, they did get a couple of good comp picks, a third, a fourth, and two sixth, which is good for them. They did get Michael Pittman Jr., though, which, in my opinion, was a sneaky good sign. I really like the Michael Pittman Jr. signing. They also got
Yeah.
Jamel Dean. I, that's also a decent signing, but other than that, pretty quiet so far.
Yeah.
Then we go to Baltimore with the Ravens. Obviously, Max Crosby being there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, losing Tyler Linderbaum, they aren't tendering Keaton Mitchell, which is just okay move. Who really cares? They are signing John Simpson to help out the offensive line a little bit, but other than that, they're also losing a couple people left and right,
Yeah.
and
We'll
that's
say regarding Linderbaum, apparently, it came out that they offered 4 years, 88 million to him, but he, as we mentioned, he took the Raiders offer over the Ravens offer. So they did offer him a lot of money, but he just preferred Vegas's offer.
I mean, not only that too, but Vegas had more money per year. Like on average,
Yeah.
he made more money. And assuming he plays at the top of his game, he will just make more money when the next contract comes up or when he gets re-signed.
Hmm.
Um. Other than that, not much else for the NFC North. Now, let's take a trip to the AFC East. Let's see what's going on. The Patriots. Guys, of course, I have to say I have to say Stephon Diggs is not on the team anymore. Um, that is a thing that is happening. That is we are not going to assume or say anything. All I'm going to say is I hope karma reaches those who deserve it. Um, yeah, not much else really on that side. They lose Kyrus Tonga, and they have not done anything else. Um, Breaking news: Noah Fant signs to the Saints for a 2-year deal. Back off the Patriots. Back off the Patriots. Oh yeah. I guess they signed Draymond Jones, who's a perfectly serviceable defensive lineman, who's been pretty well on the Ravens. But other than that, not much else. Let's go to Buffalo, where, of course, the big name is DJ Moore, being wide receiver one. Um, they signed D. Elford not too long ago. Um, do you have anything interesting to say about DJ Moore in Buffalo?
Um, I mean, I like the trade for what we got in return. Like getting a second round pick for DJ was, I think, a great return for what we got in that. I do think DJ is going to do very well in Buffalo, especially given now he's a wide receiver one. And yeah, overall, I think this feels like a win-win for both sides.
I agree. I do think the Bears got a slightly better odds, but at the end of the day, who cares? Um, After signing D. Elford, yeah, not much else is really going on with Buffalo. We already talked about the Jets and how they've had a very active free agency. Let's talk about the Dolphins. The Dolphins free agency, of course, the big name being Malik Willis. I think that's a good signing. I really think he has a chance in Miami. He just needs a better
You know,
off.
I have to wonder how was he? Why was he so bad with the Titans?
Um, the, he was drafted in
He seems
2019, right?
he was undrafted. I think he was projected to be second overall. He went undrafted.
I don't think he went
He was
undrafted.
a
I
third
know
round pick.
he
Who are we talking
for
about?
Blake
Dolphins.
Willis. He was
Willis. No, he wasn't undrafted. He was a
Third round pick.
third round pick. Third round pick.
yep,
Yeah, because I
86
remember.
overall.
Yeah, I remember he was drafted the same. He the only reason I remember that is because he was drafted the same round as Desmond Ritter. That's the
Yeah.
only reason I
Oh,
remember that.
my bad. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I do think he has a good place to succeed in Miami, especially considering I really like Jeff Hafley as a coach. But other than that,
I don't. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I
I mean,
think
I don't
honestly,
want to say.
like the
It
thing with
it
the
was a
league,
little
I think
disrespectful.
for what the Dolphins are expecting, I think for what the Dolphins were expecting to get, I think Malik Willis is probably just the best case scenario.
yeah,
Like, see what you can get out of him.
yeah. Other than that, there hasn't been much going on, but we specifically saved the Falcons, for a certain someone here, and now that he's back, we get to talk about the
Oh
Falcons free
gosh.
agency. So the Falcons
Um,
signed Amalé Zaccheaus, which I just want to say thank you
Alameda
so
Zacchaeus.
much. Thank you for
Welcome back.
thank you for taking. I
Welcome
can
back,
run.
Falcons.
I can.
Welcome.
Thank you for taking. I can run every route and drop every ball, man. And they also got Jahan Dodson. That's a blunt rotation wide receiver core if I've heard one. But
And then you remember that we have Drake London who clears every single receiver on the Bears. So let's
uh,
just put
uh,
that to rest. Don't
grandeur of
because it's right. It's
grandeur of
not.
delusion is phenomenal.
You say delusion, and name one person on that receiving core who's better than him. Go ahead. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. No one. Okay. So moving on to bigger and better things in life. The honestly, I don't hate the signings. Bringing back Zacchaeus, that's a good. I think that's good for the depth. Same thing with Jahan Dotson. I think that's good for depth. He'll definitely have probably a bigger role. Not even probably. He'll have a bigger role than he did on the Eagles. I don't know what that role exactly is going to entail. Is it going to be Darnell Mooney light? We'll see what happens there.
Look,
If he can live up to his draft, I mean, if he can live up to his draft stature, maybe all he need, maybe he just needs his, second new change of scenery to give him the biggest benefit of a doubt.
yeah,
He was on an Eagles offense that had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on it.
yeah.
So you can take. I mean, so like, of course, his production isn't going to be crazy there. He is coming. He probably is coming in as a projected wide receiver too, barring the Falcons don't draft one in the second round
Yeah.
or sign another one for agency. But like who, like literally, who's there? Jawan Jennings. Yeah, and,
He's gonna get 20 mil, but the
yeah.
real the
We're not
real the
coughing that up.
the real meat and potatoes of this all.
Is Austin Cooper coming back to
No,
Atlanta? Yes.
it's Tua
Yes, it's
Tagovailoa.
all.
It's Samoan Matt Ryan. It's Samoan Matt Ryan. Everyone,
You
yeet
said
with
first of all,
me.
Samoa Matt
Yeet,
Ryan.
yeet, yeet,
Samoa Matt
yeet,
Ryan is the
yeet,
most disrespectful
yeet.
thing you said. You're lucky we're on stream, so I can't. You're lucky we're on stream, so I can't say the nasty things I was gonna say to you. Don't ever compare. Don't ever compare CTE man to Matty Ice. Don't you ever do that.
Made him.
Matt Ryan. Well, first of all, at this point in time in his career, Matt Ryan has. I'm pretty sure he won a playoff game. So yeah, Tua is. But being completely objective about it, as much as I gag at the thought of Tua being on this Falcons roster, the deal is objectively great.
Yeah, a
1
1 mil.
year, 1.3 million dollars. That is a fantastic deal for two. I mean, for Tua. The problem is does that help this quarterback situation? Hell no. No, it doesn't.
It puts pressure on
He might give.
Penix.
He might. It definitely does. And I think that's what they're doing it for is that, like, hey, man, this is your last year to really make something shake. Try to make something shake. And I think bringing in comp like Tua is pretty good for him. Especially since, like, the best thing about Tua is his quote unquote accuracy, which was true like 2 years ago. Last year, not so much. He was quite awful last year. Not worst quarterback in the league, but like probably like bottom 20.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm also just
probably probably going to a better offensive infrastructure? Question mark.
I
Like
mean, he has Bijan Robinson and Drake London. That's better than Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle for what it's worth. But
I was
like,
I was gonna say marginally, but no, it's kind of significant. As much as I like Jalen Waddle, it is kind of a significant upgrade
I mean, I mean,
in comparison.
all I'm just gonna say about Tua is he's finally in the situation. You want to be the guy, you got to show up. And I'm gonna be honest. Maybe Tua just needs a chain of scenery. That's all he needs. But do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know. We have seen Kevin Stefanski do his quarterback whisperer magic with vets before. After all, we saw it with Joe Flacco. We saw it with Jacoby Brissett. We just saw it with Jameis Winston. He has a little bit of quarterback whisperer that makes old vets just kind of work. But do I?
There is the problem is there is no guarantee that Tua is even going to be starting come week one.
I mean,
That is
I
He
true.
might,
I mean,
he
we
might, but
don't
they
know.
might go
Michael
with
Penix
Penix.
could still be
We
hurt.
are they are saying he's going to be back for preseason, I believe. Actually, I don't think he'll be back for OTAs, is what they're
Ah,
saying.
oh,
So they're gonna have a quarterback battle in Atlanta.
yeah.
Yep.
It's quite a bad quarterback battle, but a quarterback battle nonetheless.
Hey, hey,
It really is just a stopgap 1 year vet move. I can see them. I mean, honestly, where I'm at now, I can really just see them. This is just the signing to say, hey, man, yeah, no, quarterback is still going to be a problem this year. We're gonna probably have to like really genuinely address it next year, when our cap situation is just looking a whole lot better. Because right now it's quite terrible because of Kirk,
yeah.
Darnell Mooney, Darnell Mooney getting cut. So there are still some roster moves that Atlanta needs to make. They're gonna need to find another edge rusher because James Pierce decided to be King Vaughn. They're gonna need
Fucking
to find
that whole situation is fucked because apparently it came out today that fucking apparently the game before the first Saints game he decided to try to break into his ex-girlfriend's house for whatever dumb reason.
yeah, no, please stay in jail.
Yeah.
Don't ever report back to the team.
Yeah. Oh, he's dying, Chet. He is struggling. Unfortunate. Is it just me or is it you guys? Oh shit, it might. Oh no, it wasn't me. Oh no, it is me. Wait. Um
Who the fuck is that?
oh my god, my fucking internet died. Wait, was that
Okay,
the
I thought
internet or was that no, that was Discord. Oh
yeah,
shit, Discord.
Hold yourself.
I
Discord.
think
We're
yeah,
okay.
Discord just like super pooped itself right there. But
Yeah,
um, they're also
excuse
gonna
us
need
for
to
the
address.
technical difficulties. For once it
Sorry
wasn't
about
my
that, guys.
internet. But
Atlanta is still gonna have to address slot corner because Billy Bowman is coming off of a torn Achilles, and they just lost the offer to the Bills.
yeah.
That's another thing that they need to address. But the Falcons are in talks for John Franklin Myers and
Nah,
hilariously
he already
Calais.
went. He already left and went to the Titans.
It's a Titans good signing for them. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Good signing for them.
Yeah.
Great signing for them actually. Pairing him with Jermaine Johnson. Okay, they're trying to fix this roster. I respect it.
Yeah. We talked about the Jets earlier. The Jets are having a phenomenal offseason so far. But I think other than that, I think we did the East. Now we're gonna look more towards the South, where Jacksonville isn't doing anything right now, so we'll just skip off them. The Texans, they signed Dominique Robinson. They're not really doing too much right now. Um, we'll take a look at the Titans, who have had who we looked at already and had a very interesting free agency so far, and then the Colts finally. So the biggest thing about the Colts is Daniel Jones $50 million, guys. Do you have 50 million reasons as to why Daniel Jones should deserve that money?
I have $50 million.
No.
Um,
Yeah, Daniel Jones wants $50 million for playing 11 good games of the season. Sorry, man. Malik Willis got 23 million. You are not getting 50 million. I'm sorry.
It's crazy that It's crazy that like 2 games got Malik Willis $23 million guaranteed, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. We'll see
Meanwhile,
what happens in Miami.
yeah, Daniel Jones on the other hand, dude, you're not getting 50 million. At the end of the day, uh, get get fucked. That's all I gotta say. Get fucked. Fine. Go play for the Jets again. Go play. I mean, not again. Go play for the Jets and play in MetLife again. See how that works. They'll give you a 50
That
million.
franchise, I mean, to be fair, that franchise tag in and of itself was kind of ridiculous because he's definitely not worth that much money,
I
and
mean,
especially with him coming off of a torn Achilles,
yeah,
which is probably going to destroy, which is probably going to like make his athleticism drop off a cliff, which is the best thing about Daniel Jones is the fact that he can run.
yeah.
He's not necessarily the best passer, but they're gonna have to figure something out. I mean, they're gonna have to Colts again are gonna have to figure out the quarterback situation because teams just learned that all they need to do is just stack the box to stop um, Jonathan Taylor. Because once they take out Jonathan Taylor from the equation, Colts offense drops off a cliff.
Kind of off topic, real quick, but I just saw the post. The NBA has canceled the Atlanta Hawks Magic City game promotion on March 16th. Wow, you don't say.
Crazy.
Oh no, that's not even the funniest NBA related thing today. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but the Hornets are sending the Heat a 2026 second round pick to essentially say, "I'm sorry that Terry Rozier bet on the fucking game." That is insanely funny. That's
Quite
insanely funny.
hilarious.
But yeah, the Colts are doing that. Talked about Titans. All right, not much else for the South. I believe we got the A. I believe we have the AFC West right now. We talked a little bit about what the Raiders did already. The Broncos they re-signed J.K. Dobbins, which is huge for them.
Good signing. Um, Losing John Franklin Myers stinks,
True.
but they'll be okay. I think that defense will still be okay. I still think they need to address the secondary corner situation because outside of PS2, it is a little gross. You
I
gotta hope that Jade Barron can develop develop his skills better.
I think Barron will be
He
fine.
barely I hope so because he barely played and teams were picking on Riley Moss.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that Riley Moss is just not fast. He's not fast enough. But yes, other than that, they also re-signed Alex Singleton, which we talked about. They also re-signed. No, they didn't re-sign. They signed Adam Trotman, which is just another way of saying Sean Payton's gonna get every single Saint imaginable, and I can't wait for the inevitable Taysom Hill to Denver signing this year. Um, yeah, not much with Denver. The Chargers. Um, I don't think they've done too much. They've signed Charlie Kolar, um, who's a blocking tight end. They got Pocket Lint out their pocket. That might be something. They also signed Alec Ingold. That's that's pretty much it for them. They haven't really done much, and again, it's only been one day, but so far they are not looking too hot. Lastly, we have the Chiefs who signed K9, which is insanely boring. They just boring as in good for them. They re-signed Travis Kelsey. Um,
I would
looks
like to talk about that Kenneth Walker signing. I think that's a fantastic signing for them.
Yeah, I
He is
hate
a
it.
significant he is a significant upgrade over the two bums that they were playing that they were starting last year.
Yeah, it's a good signing. I hate it. Like it's not a signing that
I am
it's not a signing that I'm like that
I
I think it's bad. It's like I hate it because it's good.
Chiefs. Yeah. It's a great signing, which means they're probably in the front running for Carnell Tate, which is also terrifying.
Oh no! If they get if they get Josh Downs, I might cry. Like tears will
Their,
fall down my
sec-
face.
their secondary stinks regardless if they get Josh Downs or not, because they need to find another outside corner.
Yeah, but they always find these fucking corners, man. When
They
Legarius
do.
Sneed
Well, they
got
couldn't find. I mean, they haven't found them as of recently because outside of Trent McDuffie, it's been nasty. It's been really
no
nasty, actually.
Jalen Watson just signed 51 million to go to the Rams.
Yeah, they have no one, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying. They don't have anybody.
yeah, and we said that when Legarius Sneed got traded, and look what happened. Wow, Trent
No,
McDuffie
we
is the next
didn't.
big thing.
No, we didn't because Trent McDuffie was always there.
Yeah, still, um, I will say this: Chiefs are having a pretty good free agency so far. Not no other notes. Well, it's time to get into the NFC North, which is my division.
We didn't even talk about the Raiders.
We did earlier. You were gone.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, was that
Yeah.
Tyler Linderbaum contract?
Oh no, it's a good contract.
Woo.
It's a good contract. It's gonna reset the
Very
market.
steep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very steep. Very very steep.
First things first. The Lions. What have they done? They signed the center Cade Mays, and then after that, they've signed Larry Borum. Larry Borum, guys, the swing tackle that wasn't good enough for for the fucking for the fucking Bears when Caleb Williams got sacked to oblivion, and he got signed to the Lions. Interesting.
Yeah,
After that,
kind of funny.
the Minnesota Vikings. Not much really going on in free agency so far. They did get a couple. They do get some picks. One of them being for Sam Darnold, getting a third round pick due to the comp. They did get oh shit! Breaking news: N'Kobe Dean is signing with the Raiders for a
Oh,
$3,336 deal. 12
nice.
million per year for N'Kobe Dean. Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. James Pierre gets a $2,085 million. I mean, $8.5 million contract. And not much else really going on that front. Um, Packers. They traded Rashad Gary for a fourth round pick somehow. And they also got Zaire Franklin and also let go of Elton Jenkins. So far, nothing. Nothing is going on so far. Um, yeah, there's that. Well, now it's time to talk about the Bears and what they've done in free agency so far. Nick, I'm
Yay.
afraid Ryan Poles is asleep. He didn't make any moves. He didn't make enough moves. We didn't get Patrick Mahomes already for some reason.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't get every defensive player in existence. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's so over. Also, I think the Raiders just signed Quay Walker. What the fuck? Yep, the Raiders just signed Quay Walker for some
Wow.
fucking reason. What the fuck?
All right.
What the fuck are we doing, man? That's like their first bad signing, but we'll see how much it is. Uh, they signed. Oh, Jesus, they just signed another pass rusher.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what? No, no, no. I see. Okay, I see the vision now. I see why they're doing it because they're trying to do what they did to Eric Stokes, a former Packer from Georgia to the Raiders. They're gonna try and fix them.
Oh, I see. So they're basically just remaking the Green Bay Packers from 2022, but the defensive part, so the bad version. That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, the defensive parts, but for some reason they can actually fix these Packers.
True. I don't get it. They also signed Malcolm Kone to a 1 year, $11 million deal. Wow, would you figure 1 mil, 11 million dollars? Nick, you want to guess what his position is if he's getting a 1 year, 11 million?
Uh, th- hmm. Sorry, I was looking off, so I wasn't paying attention. Say his name again.
Malcolm Kunche.
I know he's either. I know he plays. I know he's either linebacker or defensive end. I know he's one of the two.
He's a pass rusher. Essentially the same thing.
Pass rusher.
Fucking
Yeah.
why are we paying these pass rushers so much fucking money, dude? They're paying so many fucking pass rushers. And also, this is just like back to back. Apparently, they just signed these guys immediately. Quay Walker is a which ironic because we were just about to talk about the Bears. Um, yeah, Bears signed Neville Gallimore, which all I heard was, is this someone from Harry Potter? Apparently, he is just a nose tackle DT who was just the most mid defensive tackle of all time. Mid in like the not bad way, mid in like the he's just in the middle of the pack kind of way. Um, Other than that, the Bears also signed Kobe Bryant, which this is the first time a Kobe Bryant has ever been in Chicago. For a
True.
Chicago team, some may say. Um, I really like it. For me personally, I really like this signing, mostly just because Kobe Bryant was one of the main reasons as to why that secondary on in Seattle was so threatening last year. So I think that's fantastic.
I think it's a very good signing. Really happy to have him in Chicago. Um, Brings a lot more speed and versatility to the secondary, and he's also he's just extremely talented in the secondary, which anyone who watched the Seahawks all of last season would know that is the case. The only other thing I can really say is, well, you know what? We Chicago had to replace Kobe because we lost Kobe White, so they had to replace Kobe somehow, and I'm hoping we got an upgrade because I think we did.
True. Another guy that we got, Devin Bush. I at first did not like it because I remembered, wow, Devin Bush was fucking terrible in Pittsburgh. But apparently he is just coked out Demario Davis in Dennis Allen's defensive system. So I'm holding my thoughts on him for now. I'm going to say this is a good signing considering that it's a $10 million pay decrease for linebacker, and we still have not Demario Douglas, Demarco Jackson, who will
Michael
still
Jackson.
be playing next year, which we got him for extremely cheap. I'm very glad that we got that.
Yeah,
Um,
I really like DeMarco.
and then I believe that oh, I thought I just saw something about Nakobe Dean. I don't think there was another signing that we got. I think other than that, that's pretty much been it.
And the
Uh,
only other thing I know we did is that we extended Case Keenum.
Yeah, oh yeah. Um, I'm kind of surprised about that. Mostly just because, obviously he's gonna be like he's gonna be like the backup quarterback slash assistant coach role. That's what everyone's been saying, but I think there's a route that you could take if you want to move off Tyson Bagent. I'm not saying that we're gonna trade him or anything. Hell, I don't even know how much we would even get out of him. But there's been a lot of inkling that Tyson Bagent is on the market, so I have no
There
clue.
has been. I don't know where he would go if something happens, but from the sounds of it, he's on the market.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he was gonna go to Arizona, but they signed Gardner Minshew. But I guess that doesn't really mean much. Um, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm happy so far with what the Bears have done. So this has pretty much been most of the signing that have been happening so far. I don't. I was gonna plan on grading it, but I really feel like the best way to do it is to go by days. So, you know what? To Noah and Nick, give your three winners of the free agency today, and then your three losers of free agency today.
Hmm.
And I'll go first. I think for me, easily my biggest winners of free agency, the Jets, the I want to I'm gonna be biased and say it, but I think the Bears also had a pretty good free agency today. And then I think for my last pick, you know, uh, you know what? I'll err on the side of confident. I'll give the Niners a win, only because Mike Evans, if he works out there, huge pickup for them. Now for my losers, um, this is going to be very easy. Cleveland, uh, definitely not Miami, uh, not Atlanta because they got a cheap quarterback. Cleveland, I'm gonna say the Chargers, and I'm gonna say, and this is only because they've just lost a ton of people. I'm also gonna say the Seahawks.
That's fair. My winners will include the top three winners. Titans, they've made a ton of moves and they're doing a lot to build the team so far. Raiders have made plenty of good moves. I mean, Linderbaum itself would be enough for them to get this high, but they've been really doing a lot of what they needed to do. And third team, who would my third team be? Um, hmm. Honestly, I might, you know what, just for this case, I think I'll go to Chiefs because they got K9 and they also got a lot more draft capital now. So Chiefs getting K9 and more draft capital. So those three are my winners right now. Losers, Browns are the obvious one for the Zion contract. Um, Seahawks because they're paying the Super Bowl tax. And who would the last one be? Hmm, last one. Mm, I'll go with yeah, you know what? I might go kinda tough to say who my third loser would be, but I might go with Washington only because they are overpaying a lot. Like they're really having to pay a lot right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Noah, who are your three winners and losers of the first day of free agency? Oh shit, Noah, you there? Oh nah, he's not. Well, eh. All right. Well, regardless, this has been day one of the free agent frenzy. A lot of things have been happening. We will be back tomorrow for free agent frenzy two. Of course, you'll see who all is here when we do it because God knows that I'm not gonna plan ahead. Thank you guys so much for watching the Untitled Sickos project, and see you tomorrow for free agent frenzy day two.